Caitlin Clark reveals who she thinks is the greatest basketball player of all time. One of the most prestigious accolades of the past year has gone to Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark, who was recently named Time Athlete of the Year. It's a well-deserved honor, recognizing her remarkable accomplishments during her senior season at Iowa and her impressive rookie year with the Fever. In her first season in the WNBA, Clark won Rookie of the Year, was named a WNBA All-Star, and helped lead the Fever to the playoffs for the first time in over 7 seasons. Clark's impact on the game of women's basketball has been profound, and her ability to inspire others, despite the immense attention she's received, is a testament to her character and determination. In an interview this week, following her Athlete of the Year win, Clark revealed who she believes is the greatest basketball player of all time, none other than LeBron James. She also shared some heartfelt words about the support he's given her over the past year, further highlighting a bond between two of basketball's brightest stars. LeBron James, much like Caitlin Clark, attracted a tremendous amount of attention from the start of his career. The expectations placed on him were sky-high, and he not only met them but surpassed them, establishing himself as one of the greatest to ever play the game. Clark, still in the early stages of her career, has already far exceeded the high expectations set for her during her rookie season. Now, as she enters her second year with the Indiana Fever, she's looking to take the next step, helping the Fever return to the postseason and make an even bigger impact. Caitlin Clark's little brother checks WNBA owner for asinine comments about his superstar sister. Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in WNBA history, and anyone who tries to say otherwise is unwilling to accept reality. Her little brother took a hilarious jab at Sheila Johnson over her ignorance toward his sister. Colin put the billionaire co-owner of the Washington Mystics in her place with a very simple repost on social media. The WNBA has worked so hard over the last 8 months to defend its players for repeated instances of dirty play against the Rookie of the Year. It has tried to say that there is not a bias against the number 1 overall pick. It has been vocal in support of the greatest scorer in college basketball history. All of the dirty shots on Clark were written off as part of the game and not as a personal attack. Johnson single-handedly destroyed the WNBA's entire pro-Clark campaign during one 4-minute interview on CNN on Friday. She presented the worst take of the year in a year where there have been countless bad takes from both sides of the proverbial aisle. Sheila Johnson diminished Caitlin Clark. According to Johnson, Time should have named the entire WNBA as League of the Year instead of singling out Clark as the Athlete of the Year because that title hurt the feelings of other players. Yes, race is involved, who played an equal role in the meteoric growth of women's basketball. The 75-year-old said that Angel Reese and other players who came before this year's rookie class are just as big, or bigger, of a draw as Clark. Her comments were completely sincere. Of course, what she said is not true. Caitlin Clark is the primary catalyst for the rise of the WNBA. Not the only catalyst, just the most prominent, by a large margin. Community notes on X hit Johnson with a vicious truth bomb. It says, 31% of the Mystics' total home attendance for the entire 2024 season came from the 2 games versus Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Clark's little brother, Colin, also responded to Johnson with a not-so-subtle repost on X. He went back and shared a post from September 19th, when 20,711 fans showed up to watch the Mystics. It was the largest crowd in WNBA history because of Washington's opponent, the Indiana Fever. And yet, Sheila Johnson still refuses to appreciate Caitlin Clark for what she has done for the league. Colin, because he is sane, thinks that is ludicrous. Just look at the numbers. I'm done. Caitlin Clark's white privilege comments made podcast to quit watching basketball. Caitlin Clark revolutionized the WNBA by breaking records for the league in viewership, ticket sales, and even merchandise sales. Before that, she already made history in college basketball by pulling record-breaking crowds to her games. While she has pulled people to watching women's basketball, her recent statements apparently pushed away some, including entrepreneur and podcaster Patrick Bet-David. In one of the recent episodes of his program PDB Podcast, Bet-David and his co-hosts discussed Caitlin Clark's interview with Time magazine, and one specific part of the interview that they pointed out was Clark's white privilege comment, where she credited her success as being influenced by her race. While she went on in the interview to express support for Black women in the WNBA, this statement left a sour taste in some people. According to Bet David, it was Caitlin Clark going woke that turned him off not only for the WNBA player but for the league as a whole, the same reason as he put it that he stopped watching NBA games. Caitlin Clark challenged to fight LeBron, Curry, Durant. In the same podcast episode, co-host Adam Sosnick also expressed his distaste towards Caitlin Clark's white privilege comment, leading him to question Clark's eligibility for the Athlete of the Year award. In his piece, Sosnick challenged Clark to prove she is worthy of the accolade she received by going against NBA greats such as LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. Caitlin Clark is expected to get back to court under the Indiana Fever for the 2025 WNBA season. For more sports content, follow us at Hardwood Heroics for your NBA and college basketball reading fix. You can reach out to Dan Agulto through email at papadanf@gmail.com. To read more of our articles and keep up to date on the latest sports news, click here. Dan has been active in sports since 2016 and has worked behind the scenes as a scriptwriter for basketball, volleyball, and other sports. At a time, Dan has also been working as a sports commentator for CBA Pilipinas. During the pandemic, he has also been actively writing betting articles for CashBet and BetNow.